Got another great show for you today. The SEC announces a new office focused on innovation in fintech. The FSOC, the regulatory body I talk about so much, has released a PDF from the Treasury on fintech and digital assets, and it has really got some fire in it. And then we're going to look at also some other things like the DTCC. We're going to look at Brian Brooks, a brand new clip from CNBC, and what lies in front of us in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Roll that beautiful intro. Here we go.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
All right, welcome back. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here today. SEC announces new office focused on innovation in fintech. Long overdue, but you know what? Certainly welcomed. Now, let's just take a look very quickly here because we need to look at this framework for investment contract analysis of digital assets. I want to focus on one specific area right here, which is other relevant considerations, number 3, and it gets down into some things that I believe really start to show us that by definition and framework here, the SEC will see XRP as a currency. Distributed, it says, although no one of the following characteristics of use or consumption is necessarily determinative, the stronger their presence, the less likely the Howey test is met. It says here, distributed ledger network and digital asset are fully developed and operational. Well, that's true. And then we have here, holders of digital assets are immediately able to use it for its intended functionality on the network, particularly where they are built in incentives to encourage such use. And then it says the digital assets creation and structure is designed and implemented to meet the needs of its users rather than feed speculation as to its value or development of its network. For example, the digital asset can only be used on the network and generally can be held and transferred only in amounts that correspond to a purchaser's expected use. Then it says here again, prospects for appreciation in the value of the digital asset are limited. For example, the design of the digital asset provides that its value will remain constant or even degrade over time, and then therefore a reasonable purchaser would not be expected to hold the digital asset for extended periods as an investment. With respect to digital asset referred to as a virtual currency, it can immediately be used to make payments in a wide variety of contexts or acts as a substitute for real or fiat currency. Come on in. That fits. This means that it is possible to pay for goods or services with a digital asset without first having to convert it to another digital asset or real currency. If it is characterized as a virtual currency, the digital asset actually operates as a store of value that can be saved, retrieved, and exchanged for something of value at a later time. Certainly, XRP fits that. With respect to a digital asset that represents rights to a good or service, it currently can be redeemed within a developed network or platform to acquire otherwise use those goods or services. Relevant factors may include. Then it talks about there's a correlation between the purchase price of digital asset and a market price of the particular good or service for which it may be redeemed or exchanged. They're talking about a redeemable token here, right? Is what it seems like coupon, rebate style. The digital asset is available in increments that correlate with consumptive intent versus an investment or speculative purpose. An intent to consume the digital asset may also be more evident if the good or service underlying the digital asset can only be acquired or more efficiently acquired through the use of digital asset on the network. Any economic benefit that may be derived from the appreciation of value of the digital asset is incidental by obtaining the right to use it for its intended functionality. And there you go. The digital asset is marketed in a manner that emphasizes the functionality of a digital asset and not the potential for the increase in market value of the digital asset. Potential purchasers have the ability to use the network and use or have used a digital asset for its intended functionality. And this is where I point to like the MoneyGrams of the world, right, that are using it, or a Zemo and places like that, companies like that around the world that are using the asset in the manner that it's intended to be. If the AP facilitates active party, by the way, for AP, if the active party facilitates the creation of a secondary market, transfers of the digital asset may only be made by and among users of the platform, which they are currently today. So, okay, now it comes out here, and I'm not going to read the rest of this to you, but I think we've seen enough in here in the other relevant considerations that take in play that, you know, it certainly is clear to me, and obviously we would need to see the SEC probably speak further on the matter, but you know, it is certainly clear to me that XRP falls under the understanding that it is a currency. There's no doubt about it. So it is a currency. That's where we're at here by the very framework of the SEC. Now, we had yesterday the release of the Financial Stability Oversight Council. Okay. This is what I talk about all the time about the Dodd-Frank Act that came out that gave FSOC, the Financial Stability Oversight Council, the ability to deem something systemically important. Inside of this PDF, let's just take a look here really quickly here. It does talk about digital assets, talks about the market capitalization of blockchain-based digital assets. It does mention XRP as others. It says the market capitalization of digital assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Litecoin has increased greatly in recent years, though it has also been highly volatile. Date regarding the trading of digital assets is sparse and may be unreliable from CoinMarketCap, it says. Now, coming down here to the bottom, let me read this bottom section here to you because this really triggered it right here for me. And as the digital asset investor says, words mean something. They mean things. They really do. Digital assets are generally enabled by blockchains or other distributed ledger technologies. Such systems share data across a network, creating identical copies of their ledger that are often stored at and synchronized across multiple locations. Distributed ledger technology has applications that extend well beyond the simple transfer of value. In recent years, an increasing number of financial institutions, you hearing this? In recent years, an increasing number of financial institutions have initiated proof of concept or pilot projects to evaluate the potential for applications of distributed ledger technology in areas such as interbank and intrabank settlement, derivatives processing, repo clearing, and trade finance. While the ultimate value of a new technology is not always clear when it is first introduced, interest in distributed technologies, ledger technologies, remains high. Now look at here. Let's just let's just take a look at this, right? In recent years, an increasing number of financial institutions have initiated proof of concept or pilot projects to evaluate the potential application of distributed ledger technology in such areas as interbank and intrabank settlement. You mean like the World Economic Forum? Is that what you mean there to Treasury and FSOC? You mean like this right here that I'm blowing up into your face on page 17 that says exactly that? Crypto assets designed for inter or intra-bank payments and settlement. This came out yesterday, right here. Derivatives processing and repo clearing and trade finance. Oh, okay. You want to double down on me then? Okay, because I can go from this in the World Economic Forum Policymaker Toolkit for designing central bank digital currencies, and XRP is clearly cited right there in front of your face. Well, let's go one step further, because the digital ledger technology is also being explored and put to work at the DTCC. That's right. To examine use and the potential use of distributed ledger technology, asset digitalization, and other emerging technologies to strengthen post-trade processes and reduce the risk and cost of industry for the industry. Then it talks about Project Whitney and Project Ion, and obviously you can see here that they're both the links here. This is exactly about settling derivatives, the entire derivatives market, which is over a $2 quadrillion market. Don't believe it, it's still true. Now, let's look here. This is the 5 legal mechanisms cited by the IMF in a PDF that I covered the other day. We have the monopoly of issuance by the state or agent when we're talking about the mechanisms that define money legally. The state has sanctioned the use of currency essentially through 5 important legal mechanisms. The first one, the monopoly of issuance by the state or its agent. Either Ripple becomes a bank, like a newborn central bank, or RippleNet, or the escrow is going to fall under someone else's guidance, like the U.S. Treasury. Don't believe that, it's still true. Or you may even see that the escrow be released and at some point be released to a governing body of world leaders like the G20 or G7, something of that nature. Something that looks similar, right? It doesn't have to be the same exact entity, but it certainly would rhyme, right? And that's what we're talking about here. Core to 4 is forced currency, which really means that you're going to force that currency into the FX market, maybe in the way that SBI has started to do by testing XRP in the foreign exchange market by being able to pair that asset XRP against every other currency in the world. Legal tender status. Remember that the Federal Reserve and FinCEN just recently proposed to amend the definition of money to be able to include it with convertible virtual currencies as legal tender use. Now, privileges under private law and protection under criminal law would fall, in my eyes, underneath of, you guessed it, FSOC and the Department of Treasury. Because if it's money, who in the hell else do you think is going to watch over it? The Financial Stability Oversight Council has the right, because of the Dodd-Frank Act, they can certainly issue a SIFMU, a systemically important financial market utility or financial market infrastructure for something like the XRP ledger and the asset itself. This is really reaching an important inflection point here. We are about to get clarity, and it looks like we may get it over the next 6 to 8 weeks. And don't believe me when I say it, but you can certainly believe Brian Brooks when he says it, because I'm about to play you the clip from today that he said it. And SWIFT enables instant cross-border payments through Lloyd's Banking Group has become the first to connect SWIFT GPI Instant, the high-speed cross-border rail that settles payments in seconds because of R3, which is certainly connected at the end of the day to XRP and Ripple. So let's listen to what Brian Brooks says to tie this baby up, because regulatory clarity is coming in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Listen to this.
But Brian, I wanted to follow up on the point you made in terms of you think good things are coming by the end of the Trump term for cryptocurrency. Are you in the camp who believes that more regulation in cryptocurrency will be a good thing overall for the industry?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't say more regulation. This is not like your breakfast cereal box where it talks about weight, not volume. I don't think we need 50 regulations instead of 2. But what we do need is clarity about what's allowed. And so we need some guidance, for example, about whether banks can connect directly to blockchains as payment networks. The answer has to be yes, right? We needed answers about, can banks custody cryptocurrency so that institutions felt comfortable adopting? And you saw what happened when we gave that clarity. So you have clarity across a variety of areas that I think you'll be seeing just in the next 6 to 8 weeks. which will make it easier for crypto investors to know how to invest, to know how institutions can be in this asset class. And those are the things that are driving prices at this point. It may have hit a bubble 2 years ago, but with more clarity, institutions that see this as a real thing are going to adopt at scale, which they've already started to do. So stay tuned.
But Brian, I want
Wow. I just want to catch that again real quick here. Hold on.
And you saw what happened when we gave that clarity. So you have clarity across a variety of areas that I think you'll be seeing just in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
I mean, this is amazing to me. Over the next 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to be seeing the clarity that we need, just like we've already gotten for like Bitcoin and Ethereum to date. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to call it a finish line because it sounds like we're just about to start to cross the start line. I mean, this race is truly about to begin, and I couldn't be more excited. 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to see something that more than likely is going to be completely transformative to this entire crypto space and certainly for XRP. And I think XRP is going to run right to the front of the line of the fourth industrial revolution. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Make sure you share with somebody you know and hit that notification bell. Check out all the links in the description box and the comment section for anything that you may want or need. I know I use all those products and services, and more importantly, they are trusted links to click on. I will catch all of you on the next one.